Guys, welcome to the BPM Method Podcast. I'm really excited to hear today from Fabian. I think it's been 2 years now since we last met in Vegas, and time has flown. And that was a great experience. I think we ended up getting tacos or something like that. It was pretty cool. There was a Burning Man thing going on. It was just an amazing experience. So first of all, welcome. Tell us kind of who you are and kind of what you do.
Well, first things first, thank you so much for having me. For those who don't know me, my name is Fabian Cordoba. I am Costa Rican, born and bred, so I still live down here. Became an online marketer 7 years ago, and throughout, that exact, let's say beginning you were talking about, we met in Vegas, and I actually remember everything super clearly. So let me just break it down so people can understand. Depesh was speaking at an event, and he literally blew my mind with his speech and the case study that he was like speaking about. And I was just like wondering, how was he able to do what he did, and how can I learn from him? So really, we just got like a deep energetic connection. That's what I can say. And everything went, I believe how I wanted it to go. And we ended up, eating tacos, Mexican food, and just like overall talking about life, which was, really interesting. And it was not kind of a subject that, generally a marketer, whenever he meets another marketer, tends to be speaking about. And that's, I really believe, why we connected and we really got along in that way, because we never lost kind of that, let's say, human factor. And, I just remember that we had such an amazing time. And now, 2 years, 2 months almost. And we definitely, at least me, I've grown a lot with your products, your services, the way that you teach, everything that you build. So I'm in a whole different position in my life. Part of it thanks to you. So I'm just really excited to, of course, let everybody know what I'm doing, and of course any questions that you want to start talking about.
So kind of prior to attending that event in Vegas, like what were you doing? What was I can't remember, was it ecom or you were doing agency at the time?
Yeah, well, the agency, it's kind of something that I was kind of doing kind of side. I definitely started doing ecom. I truly blessed to say that I successfully sold a couple of multiple 7-figure brands. So that of course gave me a lot of experience in the market. Q4, Black Friday, Chinese New Year's Eve, which it's happening, and just like getting overall experience, because everybody just, well, at the beginning, I just remember that there were a lot of people saying, oh yeah, you just need a $5 ad set, just throw whatever product you want in a Shopify store and start selling. And we're far away from those days. So I definitely got like the real raw experience of growing. And I actually can't complain. For me, it was just a true blessing, because like we were like just like talking at the beginning, like entrepreneurship, it's not easy. And if you are, if you have faint of heart, probably you're not going to have fun. But definitely in my case, I love adventure. I love the fact that what I do, it's always changing and it's different. So that really excites me every single day, to learn, to try new things. And that really allowed me to exit those 2 brands, and now running the agency, helping people with e-commerce, affiliate marketing. I've honestly, Depesh, like through your frameworks and teachings and programs, I've been able to meet lots of beautiful people, from artists, from people that business owners, not online business owners, brick and mortar business owners, e-commerce entrepreneurs, affiliate marketers, and overall just people that are looking for help. And based on your teachings, that's what I've been able to break down easier, explain it to people, and what actually matters, because a lot of people just talk about fluff, right? And for me, it's more about what can you actually do to help someone, instead of just, oh yeah, it's beautiful to hop in calls and try to sell them on stuff. That's easy. But actually providing results to them, that's the ugly truth that not a lot of people are willing to talk about, right? So in my specific case, it's kind of, how can I, from value, how can I create something from value to keep providing value, so other people can provide value, right? So it's just a vicious cycle. I call it the value cycle, because if you're putting out good stuff is going to happen. But if you're putting garbage in, garbage is going to go out. So I was definitely able to, segment that in a way with, there are so many people in the industry now that call themselves gurus or experts, and you are truly one of a kind. and you were kind of the unicorn that I was able to find in, the forest. And I'm truly blessed with everything that I've been able to learn, from Facebook ads to funnels to frameworks to ad copy to even understanding, the AC4, right? How can we understand products, offers, funnels, audiences, and starting from what's first? Because everybody wants to run traffic, but are you even ready to run traffic? That's a great question that not a lot of people just, think of.
Absolutely. So I think you started with a cookbook and then joined the BPM method. So talk me through what worked, because a lot of people are, they'll question, does this thing work? Does that strategy work? I even had someone message me the other day and they said, so we have something called the Punisher method, where we reduce budgets and let the algorithm reset. And he said, yeah, but I spoke to my Facebook rep and they said that doesn't work. And I replied back and I said, your Facebook rep has probably never run ads before. And I've run a lot of ads. So you can decide who you believe. And I don't mind either way. I have no particular care if someone says, look, this Facebook rep knows more than you. I always say, test it. Don't always trust me. Go and test it. What was your journey through that? And kind of how did you kind of develop results?
Well, of course, like the cookbook was kind of at the beginning, kind of something that I needed to read several times, because we're talking about really detailed stuff, because I love to scale and I love to scale hard when you can, right? So if you're just starting out, I believe the cookbook, it's the simplest way to understand how actually Facebook works, like from the inside of the engine, not kind of the outside of the car. So that, of course, allowed me to, understand multiple different types of scaling, some of them that I didn't even knew or I was not even aware, that eventually helped me even with clients. Because, it all depends in, the environment that you're working. It also depends on the product, the offer, the market, the niche. And for me, it was just testing, because you never know. And I have had like really funny stories, because like sometimes there are people, oh, you only have to test X amount of audiences, you only have to test a custom audience or test broad. If you don't keep testing, and I just have like a rough number, I have like 10-15% of my business dedicated to testing, because you never know when you're going to find a pool of people, or how you call like a pool of like a school of fishes, like going through whenever you're fishing, and you can catch a big fish. And that simply happened through testing ads, testing audiences. And it was just a great, journey for me to really understand what actually matters. Because there are lots of fluff. Like you said, Facebook reps, sometimes it can even confuse you more. I had my fair share of, let's say, open discussions with people and even Facebook reps. But I truly believe that if you're really looking to understand how the Facebook works and how can you implement Facebook to your business as a sales channel, the cookbook, it's the best way to start. And it's like a scaling Facebook manual. Sorry, it's like a Facebook scaling manual.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of results did you see initially?
Well, first things first, scaling e-commerce brands, that really helped me a lot. Like I said, multiple 6 to 7 figures. I'm really, really happy to say that. And just by understanding how does the auction work, because some people say that, again, like how I said at the beginning, sometimes you think you're ready to scale, or even if you think you're making money, if you're not making the numbers right, you're actually losing money. So it was kind of understanding when I can be a bit aggressive, when I'm having a specific strategy that, for example, like a season that I have a specific amount of budget in place that I can scale, or even clients with lead generation. I've been able to help a local client, many local clients, a couple in the US. So Costa Rica, US, different markets. I don't live there, second language. So it has been a great way to connect with people, helping business owners to achieve, 6 figures a month within their local business, just because everything is in place. We have a product, we have an offer, we really targeted the audience, and we're helping them grow. And last year was one really, really good case study that I had with a client for Black Friday. So you teach this really, really, really importantly. You have to prepare for Q4, and I took it seriously and I prepared, and I was able to help a client scale in Black Friday to $150,000 a day, local client in the US, and new business, new ClickFunnels account. And at the end of the year, we were doing $300,000 in 2 months, which is really, and we were not like pushing it that hard. I was just trying to make the client feel comfortable with what we actually can do before just like telling them, yeah, you have to do this, and then the client doesn't understand. So that's also something very, very important that I've learned. Once then I started, the BPM program, and like because I transitioned to it.
Yeah, that's something I was keen to understand, because a lot of people want to understand that transition. So first of all, like, why did you go from cookbook to the BPM method, which is obviously our agency's operating system? And then, what was the difference between the two, and how did the BPM
Yeah.
method actually help you beyond that?
Yeah. Well, first things first, with all the breakdowns, because now you're talking about, the true frameworks. We're talking about, like starting with the 3 and ads formula, core 4, 5W avatar, 4 funnel step system, like things that not a lot of people talk about that actually matter. Because yeah, people think, yeah, you can be rich with Facebook, which you can, but if you don't have a business, if you don't have a system, if you don't have tech, if you don't understand how to improve your conversion rate, you can keep spending 6 figures a month and in Facebook ads, but if you don't increase your conversion rate, you might be even losing money, or you're not growing, which is also something that you teach. So for me, it's more about first things first. I'm curious by nature, and I love to learn. And since I met you, like everything, all the contents, even the emails, it's so valuable, the case studies. And I was just like, this is an investment for me and also for my clients. So it's kind of flowing the flow of a river. Like either side, you can, swim against it, or you can go with the flow. And in my sense, it was just like a no-brainer. It was not even about the pricing. It was just the fact that right there, all the skills that I was able to learn right from the program really have allowed me to grow personally, professionally, with my clients, with my agency, with my businesses, and the people that I consult with. So overall, the transition was more about more information and really learning what you were actually doing to replicate in a, not, I can't, say that, I'm the master now, you're still the master, but just like, how can I replicate what you have taught others, and just look for similarities throughout the journey.
And the cool thing is, a lot of the students go through my programs, they then craft it for their own businesses, their own ways of working and stuff. And I end up learning back as well. Like I know you've shared a few case studies, and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. That's really cool, the way you've used that knowledge, you've adapted it as well. So talk to me through kind of Elite. So you're now in our Elite Accelerator coaching program. What made you want to step up, and kind of how have you found that?
Well, um, it's like a really interesting thing, because again, thinking about growth, how can I optimize my life or optimize what I'm currently doing for my clients? Because for me, user experience and customer experience are what matter. And if I can't be at that level, I rather don't do it at all. I rather don't run an agency, because for me, again, it's all about value and what else can I learn? Because practically in the Elite, once that I enrolled, I can have whatever question that I need to be answered addressed. So for me, it's more about how can I get more value, not only from you, but for the team and everybody involved in the program, because everybody is from, from customer service, from Jekka all the way to you, all the coaches and people that are, surrounding the project. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I've never been in a program this sophisticated and so efficient, because everything is so organized that there's no way, number one, to not understand, number two, how not to be accountable for yourself, and number three, just like not being able to get your questions answered, because that's kind of something that happens along the journey, even in the industry. Because yeah, you can hop on a webinar and you just have to pray sometimes for people to answer your questions, but you guys don't leave until everything is completed. And that's something that I truly appreciate, because that's caring, really caring, and not a lot of people really care. And by far, you and your team are the people that I really truly respect in that manner.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Now let's kind of reverse that journey over the last 2-3 years. If we didn't meet in Las Vegas and you didn't know anything about me, what would you have? How would you have kind of taken your career? Where do you think you might have gone? And what do you think where would that have gone for you? I guess without that kind of meeting and discussing.
Well, that's a great question. Honestly, like, you just gave me like a lot to think, but just like the first thing that comes to my head, lots of trial and error, even more than the ones that I was having. So by at least getting direction, which for me it's more important, because they want speed, they want agility, they want efficiency. But if you're going in the wrong direction, you're just going to end up faster in the wrong direction, right? Instead of really going ahead and really understanding, number one, what's going on, the true insights, things that you don't even think, you're not even aware, the connections that you might have with Facebook, what's actually happening, the fact that you really truly understand what's out there, what's happening, your experience, and really breaking everything down. Like, honestly, I'll just be probably not doing the things that I'm doing the right way right now, probably spending even more money on Facebook and feeling overwhelmed. Probably I'll just keep doing it because I know myself. I will just hustle till the day I die. And that's just the life that I've been able to craft by, meeting you, using your tools, your leverages, your programs. And I'm just, using that as a tool. Like, and my dad taught me something really, really smart when I was young. Like, you just have to keep on learning. Skills pay the bills. And if you learn a skill, you're probably not going to use it within 5 years or 3 years, but you already have that tool in your tool set. So for me, it's more about keep learning, keep refining, keep growing, and keep collaborating and keep providing case studies, because at the end of the day, you're doing that. That's how I learn. If I have a good case study that I can share to people to inspire them, to help them to actually see, I'm just a guy from Costa Rica. Like, we're only 5 million people in this country. And if I was able to do it, well, you can't. Like, it's just a matter of mindset and a matter of really following the people that you really need to follow and executing 10 times even more than you think, because everybody wants, but no one does.
Absolutely. So talking about entrepreneurship, so you're an entrepreneur. Generally, there's only a handful of things that entrepreneurs want. So time, getting time back for yourself, because no one wants to start a business and spend all day working. So, people start a business because they want to earn time back, which is related to money. So once you've got free time and you've got income coming in and your business is operating efficiently without you, that's that. Relationships, entrepreneurs want to network, and they talk about your network is your net worth. And I think that is so true as well. And then also impact as well. So many of the reasons why people start a business will be because they want to make a difference somewhere, to someone, to some situation, etc. Obviously, some people start a business because they just want the Lambo and the holidays and things like that. But many others also do it for impact as well. Thinking about those four things, so time, money, relationship, impact, I'm curious to know how the programs have helped you in either one or all four of those as well.
The one that I really resemble with is impact, because that's the reason why I do what I do. Like, if I was, like, honestly, like, selfish, I wouldn't work with anyone, and I'll just, care for my things. And again, like, I come from a small country, and even I've been able to help people here that they don't even know what a Facebook ad is, just by speaking to me and helping them grow. At the end of the day, for me, it's all about prosperity, because if you're doing things with a true intention behind it and you can impact someone in a positive manner, you're winning already. So it's more about sharing the knowledge, because that's the only thing that we can share, right? Like, that's the only thing that can be kept alive, because once you're gone, everything is gone. But if you're able to, transcend that, have true impact and help others, and that's one of the main reasons why I resemble to you, because you're not selfish at all. You're selfishless. And I truly respect that, and has allowed me to even learn and see you, as a true person that I respect, because your character never changes. It has been the same one since the day that I've met you. And I, really appreciate that. And, learning from people and inspires me and helps me grow in many, many, many ways. Even the fact of you as a father, like, I see you as a family man, and, being married with your kids and taking care of them. That's actually something that I also value a lot, because you're showing your true colors. Many people in the industry, they just want to, again, show the Lambos. They just want to show the big houses, the parties, and screenshots, but you don't do any of that. You're actually a true human, which in this day and age, it's really difficult, because everybody wants to pretend. And that's, I believe, what actually can help me inspire others. Because again, like, I don't wear watches, but I do have clocks. Why? Because I know that I can self-manage. And for me, it's not about luxury, the cars and all this stuff. It's about the lifestyle, the actual life that I can forge. Just kind of what I was talking about. Like, I love surfing. As you guys can see, I have my surfboard. In the morning, I went and I was surfing 4 to 6 foot waves, having a blast. And it's the life that I was able to forge. I just come back to work. I have fiber optics in my apartment. I can work from here. I work with multiple people along the world, and I just leverage the power of the internet. That's something that I've been able to learn in this past 7 years. And the funny thing is that 7 years ago, I had no idea that this was possible because I was in a whole different mindset. I didn't even know what a domain was. I was not technical, I was not tech savvy, but my hunger and truly following my dreams allow me to, meet people like you and get inspired and, keep learning and applying and helping others, which is what matters.
Absolutely. So, with where you are right now, what's coming up for you? What are you excited about, and kind of how are you going to take the knowledge you've got? So, one of the things you talk about is impact. So, I run an agency, and I also do the training, and I do ecom. And the thing that really inspires me is being able to work individually with people, because when you have an agency, you're working with a business owner, and then they're serving customers, through your marketing, but you don't get a direct connection with actually changing people's lives. The business is already there and stuff. When you work with someone individually, for example, for me, working with someone like you and seeing the growth over the last 2 years, seeing the impact, but also the fact is, whatever happens in the next 5, 10, 15 years, my one interaction with you is going to have an impact on many, many more, because you're going to be speaking to people, sharing your knowledge, etc. For me, that's really powerful. So that's what motivates me to keep me going, that I know that I can touch one person, that person could touch 10 or 100 people, etc., etc. And all of a sudden, the legacy you leave behind is massive. And that's something I could never do on my own. And it's gratitude to people like yourself that take the chance, follow the process. This is something I always say. I remember someone joined the program, I think back in 2018, and he was actually one of the first students. And he goes, first 6 months, he's actually a guy called Jeff. He was actually in Las Vegas as well when I met him there. He said that without the training, his business wouldn't be here right now, because he was following the typical dropship examples, $5 ad sets and stuff. And he was burning money. And then he followed my process, and all of a sudden now he's got a proper business. And he said, if it wasn't for your training, I wouldn't have a business. I'd be working 9 to 5 in corporate and things like that. He then messaged me about 8 months later, and he goes, I'm going to tell you something that happened. I got really confident, and I stopped using your strategies, and I started using random things, and my revenue just went all over the place. And he goes, I went back to the process, and then it started working again. And, one of the things about that is it takes a certain type of mindset. So you've talked about mindset as well, about being focused and avoiding noise. I've had the same thing, in my entrepreneurship journey. It's about being clear on your path and avoiding too many shiny objects. They're always coming at you as well. But going back to impact, I mean, what's your kind of next path over the next kind of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and kind of what do you want to achieve?
Yeah, well, honestly, there are like many things, because I consider myself an ambitious person. Number one, I also have a podcast that you already know. So I would like to formally invite you to have a podcast, a session with me and the Tropical Gangsters whenever we can. So that's
one day we'll do it in person in Costa Rica.
Yes. That's sounds perfect. So for me, it's about that, using how can you reach more people? Because I really believe that if you can connect with people, people don't need to pay you stuff to learn from you. And that's something that a lot of marketers don't have on their head, that they just want to get paid straight up. And with that mindset, you're not having an impact, probably on your pockets, but not on others. So for me, it's more about how can I reach more people throughout the podcast so they can hear another perspective, because that's how I changed my mindset. My mind was way off. And by just having simple conversations, like the one that we had almost backstage after the event that led us to eat some tacos, and now connecting through your podcast, those little conversations, those little aha moments are actually things that have allowed me even to get new clients and even better clients, which is also that I want to keep getting bigger, better clients that are willing to, take more risks, to invest more in their businesses, because one thing goes with the other. So I really want to, expand my podcast, of course, my personal brand, help other businesses and bigger clients, because at the end of the day, if I can help others, by default, life will pay back. If you do things the right way with the right intentions, not expecting to get paid always, that's something that a lot of people can't even feel. No one wants to be sold at, no one. But if you really have true character, you understand what you're doing, and you have experience behind you, people are just going to follow.
And there's a saying that says that people don't want to be sold to, but they want to buy. And I think sometimes it's just a subtle shift in strategy. And the way I see it is that you're a consultant. So you have to find out what their problems are, give them medicine and say, here's a prescription for what you need to do. That's what people are looking for. They're not looking for, some of these kind of Wolf of Wall Street high pressure sales techniques. Might work in some sectors, but it doesn't make people feel good. And the better you make people feel, the more they're going to learn and follow you and stick with you as well. And I think that's certainly helped us as well. Any last thoughts to share with others that are kind of in the gray zone between cookbook, BPM, Elite, and training versus, I get lots of people contacting me saying, yeah, but I can learn all that from YouTube. And I'm like, it's absolutely fine. I'm not going to pressure you to join our programs. But what's your kind of feedback to people who are considering the programs?
Yeah, of course. So like first things first, you have to know yourself. If you think that you can start with material that you can apply, it's kind of that either do it yourself, done with you, or done for you. Like those are the three unique paths that you have if you want to be successful with anything in life, right? You either want to, take the reins of your business, your life, and go and learn through the cookbook. If you're really that type of person that you want to have everything broken down, you want to look at videos, you want to pause, you want to take notes and then apply, that's perfect. And if you really are getting results, even if you're not getting results, but you need some extra help, more one-on-one help, the Elite, it's by far the best way that you could go, right? So it's just a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer. And I can tell you that, the investment made with your programs has been made back like within the first, 2 months of the cookbook. So everything has been growth from there. So that's just my experience, but whoever is listening and watching, don't be afraid of committing to grow your business because everything takes commitment. And like you said, you said a key word. It's about the journey or the path that you're taking, the experience behind it, because it's going to take time. Like there's no magic pill to become rich or to become successful or to even be followed. It takes a lot of work. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't talk. It's about, be truly embracing the failures that you have or you've gotten, because that's going to make you better. It's not that kind of the mindset that I don't lose, I learn. It's the best mentality that you can have, because you're probably going to fall a lot of times. It's kind of, learning how to walk as a baby. You're going to fall down many times, but now you're walking, now you're jogging, and you can do anything you want in life. So for me, that's kind of the best advice that I can give to people. Just invest in yourself and know yourself, and just know that there are plenty of solutions adequate for whatever needs you might have.
Amazing. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your insights and your time as well. If someone does want to find out more about you, follow you, learn from you, etc., how can they reach out?
Well, starting with Fabian Cordoba at Facebook, fabiancordoba.co and Instagram. You can follow me on my podcast, on the Tropical Gangsters podcast, straight up in YouTube. And you can look for more information regarding myself on fabiancordoba.com.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Have a great day surfing and relaxing and whatever you get up to. And appreciate you being on here today. And yeah, good stuff coming up. Thank you.
Same way. It's my pleasure, Depesh. Always.